Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip.
Carlton Jr. says, I still think it's a weak move, but the omission of black people in the game makes sense as we go on, to be honest. Well, keep in mind that the main theme of this game, quite frankly, is about slavery, right? And, you know, let's be honest, sadly, you know, African Americans as well as other black people all over the world just recently, within the last few hundred years, have been enslaved. So it's kind of a, you know, touchy subject. You know, we don't want to think about another world where black people are enslaved again. You know, we're trying to right that wrong and change that past to say we acknowledge that slavery of any race, creed, or any individual is wrong. So to actually show that particular race that actually was enslaved for quite a while in a video game could be pretty offensive to some people. I get that, you know. Now, should we be able to actually separate fantasy from reality and say, okay, well, this is a game and it doesn't really matter? Yes. Sadly, a lot of people are not able to do that. A lot of people are just really sensitive and can't separate fantasy from reality, and they see stuff and they get triggered and then they get all upset. I do think that the game should have been able to do whatever it wanted with whatever race it wanted, and shouldn't have been, no one should have been offended, but that's not the society we live in, sadly. Sadly, we do live in a society of people who are just ridiculously overly sensitive and get upset about every little thing. So I think it was actually a smart design choice for them to not have black people in it if it was going to involve, you know, these kind of plot lines of, you know, bigotry, being judgmental towards one group, ethnicity, or race. In this case, it's the bearers, right? You know, you might have people who get too overly offended by it. So probably the smart move, honestly. Why poke the hornet's nest, as they say, right? Why do that? Highest Darkness says the game is a throwback to Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI was essentially technology versus magic, how Terra was persecuted. Correct. I feel that way too. I feel it is a throwback plotline in a lot of different ways. The whole, oh, if you use magic power, well, you're draining the energy, the natural resources of the planet. So it's kind of almost like an environmentalist style plotline, which has happened in Final Fantasy before as well. Look at Final Fantasy VII. It was the same plot, actually, right? Carlton Jr. says it's funny because Dragon Age Origins has a similar plot point. Well, in the Dragon Age franchise, it's elves, correct? It's the elves that are treated as like the inferior race and they're slaves and stuff.
They tell us there's a code.
I mean, as fantasy as this game is, I guess it is a little bit more realistic than, say, a game that has elves and shit, right?
How am I to sell my wares if they
Look at
want
these
to
assholes.
the capital?
Imperial soldier.
Passage to the provincial capital is restricted to Imperial Army personnel.
Fought right in his face.
The gates are closed.
Dabhand says, Yoshida has said the only reason there's a lack of diversity is that the game is framed in reality, set in medieval Europe, where there really weren't any black people at the time, at any, you know, medieval time. Okay. I mean, it's not set in medieval Europe, or else it would be called Europe. That's kind of a lame cop-out, but okay. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that. Oh, I can't use the choke now. Here.
Drip go. I got the 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 drip go.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.